Hey everyone, before we jump into today's chapter, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you'll never miss a new audiofic. Your support really helps keep these stories coming. Now, let's dive in.
Sunnydale High School, 3:45 p.m. the next day, as Willow sat in the brightly lit, spacious room, isolated from the crowds of students being assigned to various career seminars based on their test scores. She felt a funny twist in the pit of her stomach. She was seated beside an orange-haired young man who had just offered her canapés. Despite having Niko's knowledge, training, and experiences in her head, Willow was still nervous when it came to many things, especially boys. She had noticed the young man on the couch only after being pulled away from the safety of the hallway by two mysterious men in black suits. At first, she thought they had somehow discovered her Series 5 implant and were coming after her because of it. Ready for trouble, Willow had already set her telekinesis on standby when she followed them into the room. Soft music played in the background, and the smell of food hung in the air. The redhead was taken aback when the men turned to her just as a waiter approached with a tray of hors d'oeuvres. Willow glanced at the tray, then at the men, confused. A few seconds later, one of them asked her to try the canapés. It's okay. What's going on? Willow asked, waving her hand nervously. She still had no idea what this was about, but told herself that if things went bad, she could handle it. She had to. Buffy was away at a cemetery with Giles, investigating why a group of vampires had been breaking in and trying to steal something. Xander, meanwhile, was at an appointment with the prison warden because his career questionnaire suggested he was best suited to be a guard. Willow and Buffy had laughed about that one, especially after Buffy's results hinted she could have a future in law enforcement. But Willow herself hadn't received any results, and now she was starting to see why. You've been selected to meet with Mr. McCarthy, head recruiter for the world's leading software concern, said one of the men, pointing to a couch she hadn't been able to see before because they were blocking her view. She thought she saw someone sitting there. His jet was delayed by fog at SeaTac, but he should be here any minute. Please make yourself comfortable. But I never even got my test results back, Willow replied, confused. The test was irrelevant, the other man said. We've been tracking you for some time now. That sounds creepy, Willow admitted before shaking her head. Sorry, is that a good thing? The part about tracking me? Only one other Sunnydale student was selected, the man replied. Both he and his partner stepped aside and walked past her. Good luck, Miss Rosenberg. Thanks, Willow said uncertainly. She turned to see a young man sitting at the far end of the couch, staring at the tray of finger food. Butterflies filled her stomach as she walked over and sat down at the other end, smiling nervously. The young man looked at her, did a double take, then offered her the tray. Canapés? He asked. Willow smiled nervously, reached for one, then pulled her hand back. He placed the tray on the table in front of them, and the two sat in silence, each wrapped in their own nerves. And that was how Willow found herself in this particular situation. She fiddled with her fingers, sneaking glances at him while he leaned back, tapping his thighs absently and looking around the room. Their eyes met briefly before Willow quickly looked away, scolding herself in her head. What's wrong with you? Talk to him. He's not Xander, sure, but, well, Xander's been too hooked on Buffy to even notice me. Come on, Willow, go. Hi, Willow finally said, turning toward him. I'm Willow. Oz, he replied. I'm Oz. Oh, Willow said, turning away again and leaning forward nervously. Now what do I say? She thought. She could feel Oz glancing at her before he too looked away. When she sneaked another look, she saw a small smile tugging at his lips. They both said at the same time, then looked at each other. Willow smiled and chuckled. You first. Ladies first, Oz replied. You're the one who said first, Willow teased, raising an eyebrow. The butterflies in her stomach were starting to take off. Oz smiled and nodded. I've seen you before. I was the one you crashed into a couple of months ago. Oh, right. Willow leaned in, eyes wide. I'm so sorry, I should have recognized you. I was late to class that day and, well, sometimes I'm a total klutz. I saw you once at the Bronze, too, Oz added casually. Willow brushed her hair behind her ear nervously. Really? I wasn't stalking you or anything, Oz said quickly. You were there and I was there. It's funny. Huh, Willow blinked. Two strangers meeting each other, he explained. Well, the second time I was just looking at you and in a non-stalkerish way, right? Willow asked with a nervous laugh. I mean, not that I'd mind if it was a little stalkerish. I mean, ugh, I should really shut up now. When I get nervous, I babble, and when I babble, it's hard to stop. So please, help me stop. No, I wasn't stalking you, Oz interrupted, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Willow chuckled, shaking her head. So, what were you doing? Watching me at the Bronze. Do you work there, or... I was in the band, Oz said. Willow sat up straight, eyes wide. Really? That's so cool. What's the name of your band? Dingos Ate My Baby, he replied. Oh, that's even cooler, Willow said, grinning. The name, I mean. He's in a band, she thought excitedly. And you play the... she prompted. Guitar, Oz answered. He plays guitar and he's in a band. Willow squealed internally. Out loud, she asked if they were playing at the Bronze again anytime soon. Oz simply nodded. Just then, the curtain at the entrance parted, and a bald man in a suit entered the room. He nodded at them and called Oz to follow him. See you around, Willow, Oz said as he stood. Willow smiled and nodded, watching him disappear with the men before sighing and flopping back against the couch with a dreamy smile. Later, after her interview with the recruiter, Willow returned to the curtained room and found Oz had already left. Disappointed, she hugged her books to her chest and made her way back to the library, thinking about the young man. There, she found Buffy, Giles, and Xander deep in conversation. Giles explained that the vampires had stolen not just any cross, but the Cross of Du Lac, a key to decoding a book one of Spike's minions had stolen from his office. They would need to research it further. Buffy quickly volunteered herself out of the task. Smiling, she told Giles, Willow, and Xander that research was their strength, not hers. Willow knew exactly why. Buffy had an ice skating date with Angel now that school was officially over for the day. Yeah, Giles, said Willow. Buffy's busy, you know. She needs a rest and everything. You, me, and Xander can handle the research. Very well, replied Giles. He nodded at Buffy, who turned and squeezed Willow's hand before running out of the library doors. Seizing the moment, Willow turned back to Giles and told him she'd be right back. There were things she needed to do now that school was over for the day. But, Willow, the research, said Giles, nodding at the computer and the stack of books. Whatever Spike and Drusilla have planned is dangerous. For Buffy and for the rest of us. We need to start reading what we can, researching what we can, and... I'll get some donuts? Willow cut in. Jelly donuts? Asked Giles, perking up. Uh-huh, Willow nodded. Bear Claw? Asked Xander, hopefully. Willow nodded more vigorously. Very well, said Giles, adjusting his glasses. But do return as fast as humanly possible. Okay, said the redhead, preparing to leave. I'll be back in about 2 hours. Just some things I need to do. Willow? Giles asked, suspicion in his eyes. What are you planning? It's a surprise, Willow replied with a wave before darting out of the library. Dressed in plain overalls, she rushed down the stairs and out to the bike rack. Even though the school day was officially over, students lingered for more career week seminars set for later in the day. Unlocking her bike, Willow pedaled out of the school gates as fast as she could. The idea had struck her that morning in class with Buffy and Xander. She knew she was ready to take things to the next level. The idea had struck her that morning in class with Buffy and Xander. She knew she was ready to take things to the next level. Giles had told her to take it slow, and while her magic was still shaky, she had already gained a degree of mastery over her other new skills. Willow resolved not to use magic until she had firmer control. Instead, she wanted to test herself against a vampire, alone. Risky, yes, but necessary. She couldn't rely on Giles as a crutch forever. Thanks to Niko's memories, she felt she had some experience to lean on. But she needed preparation. That meant a disguise, something to hide both her identity and her scent from vampires. I can explain the haircut, Willow thought as she pedaled hard for 10 minutes until she reached a shop on Main Street. Trying her best tough girl impression, she locked her bike to a lamppost, squared her shoulders, and pushed open the door. A bell chimed as loud rock music blasted overhead. Inside, men and women in leather jackets and jeans browsed racks of clothing, tattoos visible on their arms. To Willow, plain, long-haired, and wearing coveralls, they looked intimidating. She wandered along the walls, pretending to examine jackets. She'd passed this place before when walking with Buffy to the espresso pump across the street, but had never dared to step inside. Glancing nervously out the window to make sure no one she knew was around, Willow accidentally bumped into a tall, muscular man. He frowned, looking her over. "Hi," squeaked Willow, giving a small wave. I think you're in the wrong place," the man smirked, pointing toward the store next door. "You're probably looking for... I wanted to make a change," Willow blurted, then immediately regretted it. "What the hell am I doing? Just leave. Say you meant to go to the Gap. Easy." "I want to change my wardrobe," she added, her voice stronger than she felt. "Oh God, did I just say that?" "Change your wardrobe?" the man repeated, looking her over again. "How bad is it? Please don't tell me it's worse than those coveralls." "Fuzzy shirts, more coveralls," Willow admitted, smirking in a way that reminded her too much of Niko. The man sighed and called over a female associate who took charge of helping Willow. She picked out 2 shirts and a pair of black jeans. Willow's eyes, however, kept drifting to a leather jacket behind the counter, jet black, with side pockets and a zipper that ran diagonally across the front. "So, you're doing this for a guy?" the associate asked after Willow said she wanted to try on the jacket. "That obvious?" Willow asked, slipping it on. "Uh-huh." Willow looked at herself in the mirror. The jacket fit perfectly. Out of the corner of her eye, she caught a few guys staring at her reflection. She ignored them and told the associate she'd take it. "You see Sunnydale?" the woman asked as Willow paid in cash, courtesy of her parents' bi-weekly allowance. Willow shook her head. "Junior at Sunnydale High." At that, the 2 guys who had been staring quickly drifted away. "Well," the woman said, handing Willow the bag. "Knock your guy dead." "I will," Willow replied with a wave before stepping back outside. She exhaled deeply, looking at the shopping bag in her hand. 40 minutes later, Willow emerged from a hairdresser's with her hair cut even shorter. Giles, Buffy, and Xander were going to have heart attacks. She still needed a few more items, including something to mask her scent from vampires, but that could wait. For now, she had to get back to school. She stopped at the donut shop, picked up a box, and pedaled home. Inside, Willow set the donuts on a side table, then rushed upstairs to her room, stripping off her coveralls and shirt. She stood in front of the mirror in her underwear. "What am I doing?" she asked her reflection. "I should stop. Come on, Willow, you can do it. It's not that embarrassing. Everyone's at career week anyway. Hallways should be empty for an hour. Just slip in, show your friends you've changed, and... Oh, screw it. Stop trying to go out alone. You panic just looking at that guy in the shop. What makes you think you can fight a vampire?" Sighing, she shook her head. Despite all her bravado, she wasn't ready. Not without Giles. Just tell him, Willow thought. He'll supervise. If anything goes wrong, he'll step in. Going solo would have been stupid. What if my training isn't enough? What if I freeze? Her eyes drifted to the clothes she'd bought. She hesitated, then tucked them away. Their haircut would be shocking enough for now. Jeans and a new shirt could wait. Maybe, Willow thought as she refastened her coveralls and brushed a strand of short red hair from her face. Smiling faintly, she grabbed the donuts and hurried out the door. I wonder what the others will say, she murmured as she pedaled back toward the school, the donut box balanced on her handlebars. To be continued.